In the silence beyond the clouds of Earth, where darkness stretches farther than imagination can reach, there drifts a river of light, our galaxy, the Milky Way. It turns slowly, almost imperceptibly, across the ages, its spiral arms unfolding like petals in a timeless bloom. From the surface of our small blue world, we glimpse only a fraction of its grandeur, a pale band across the night sky, delicate, whisper, thin, yet that faint shimmer is the combined glow of billions upon billions of suns. Each point of light that trembles in the darkness is a sun not unlike our own, surrounded perhaps by planets, moons, or silent rings of ice. They are separated by distances so vast that even light, the swiftest thing in existence, takes years, sometimes millennia, to bridge the gap between them. When we gaze upward tonight, the light touching our eyes may have begun its journey before the first humans spoke, before the continents took their present shape, before the dawn of memory itself. The Milky Way is a spiral galaxy, broad and flat, 100,000 light years across. Imagine traveling at the speed of light, 300,000 kilometers every second. Yet it would still take 100 millennia to cross from one edge of our galactic home to the other. Such numbers stretch the mind until it bends beneath their weight, until the only response left is quiet wonder. In this great stellar city, stars are not evenly scattered, but gather in vast neighborhoods called arms, sweeping lanes of brilliance shaped by gravity's invisible hand. Between these arms lie gulfs of darkness, regions where starlight thins into delicate veils of dust and gas. To the unaided eye, these dark patches appear empty, but they are far from void. They are nurseries, wombs of creation where new suns are slowly kindled. In those quiet clouds, atoms drift together, drawn by the faint pull of gravity. They swirl, compress, and warm until hydrogen fuses into helium, and the first faint gleam of a newborn star pierces the black. From such beginnings, entire systems arise, planets coalescing from dust, moons circling like companions in a cosmic waltz. Every star in the night sky was once a whisper in such a cradle. Our galaxy contains more than 100 billion of them, and perhaps twice as many waiting to be born. To count them all would take longer than all of human history, and still, new ones would ignite as others faded away. The Milky Way breathes through its stars, creation and destruction entwined, a rhythm older than time itself. If we could stand outside our galaxy and look back, we would see a glowing disk, a spiral of silver suspended in the dark sea of the universe. Its arms curl gracefully around a bright core, where countless stars cluster together in blinding density. Around that core, everything turns: suns, planets, comets, and the dust of ancient worlds, all drawn in a slow, eternal dance. The outermost stars take hundreds of millions of years to make a single revolution, moving so gently that their motion can only be measured by the patient gaze of centuries. And yet, from our vantage point within it, we perceive only fragments. We live inside the structure we try to understand, like insects studying the bark of an enormous tree. We piece together maps from starlight, measuring subtle shifts and spectral hues, until at last an image emerges, a spiral of radiant arms, turning serenely in the cosmic dark. The scale of it defies the senses. If the entire galaxy were reduced to the size of a city, our solar system would be no larger than a single grain of dust drifting between its streets. From that grain of dust, we look outward and dare to imagine the whole. It is the most extraordinary act of awareness that a creature made from stardust can comprehend the enormity of the stars themselves. Within the Milky Way, stars cluster into families, globular clusters bound tightly together, ancient beyond measure. Some are nearly as old as the universe itself, relics from the earliest times, when galaxies first took shape. They hang like lanterns in the outer halo, marking the edges of our stellar domain. Each contains hundreds of thousands of suns, all born long before Earth existed. Between these clusters drifts the interstellar medium, a thin mist of atoms, faint and cold. Though its density is almost nothing, over vast distances it becomes a tapestry of delicate filaments and luminous clouds. Astronomers trace these patterns in wavelengths invisible to human eyes, translating them into colour so that we may glimpse the architecture of the unseen. In that map of light and shadow, we find beauty beyond words, the silent handwriting of creation itself. The Milky Way is not still. It pulses, breathes, and stirs. Gravity binds every part to every other, yet within that binding there is constant motion. Stars drifting like leaves on an invisible tide. Some race ahead, some lag behind, some are flung out into the void. Even the great spiral arms are not fixed structures but waves, ripples of density passing through the disk, compressing gas and birthing stars as they go. It is a living pattern, always changing, always renewing itself. To think of such movement on human timescales is almost meaningless. While we count our days in hours and years, the galaxy moves to the slow rhythm of aeons, in the time it takes our planet to complete one orbit around the Sun. The Sun itself has scarcely moved at all in its immense circuit around the galactic centre. And yet, the motion never ceases. It is the quiet heartbeat of the cosmos, constant, patient, eternal. There is a humbling thought in this immensity. Every human story, every civilization, every fleeting heartbeat has unfolded within a corner so small it would be invisible from even the nearest star. Yet from that corner, consciousness has risen, and with it, the ability to wonder. Perhaps that, too, is part of the galaxy's design, that within its infinite vastness, awareness should bloom, if only for a moment, to admire the whole. At times, when the night is clear and the air still, the Milky Way arches overhead like a bridge of light. It reminds us of distances we cannot fathom and of connections we cannot see. Each shimmer, each spark, is a story unfolding, a star being born, a world turning in its orbit, a comet gliding through frost and fire. We stand beneath it, small and transient, and yet made of the same elements: carbon, oxygen, iron, forged long ago in the hearts of distant suns. The galaxy is ancient, but not eternal. It is changing even now, growing as it consumes smaller companions drawn into its gravitational embrace. The faint haze we call the galactic halo is full of ghosts of other galaxies. Their stars captured, their shapes dissolved, their histories woven into ours. In this slow merging, the Milky Way becomes something new, larger, more complex, proof that even galaxies evolve and transform. If we could slow time to a crawl and watch the galaxy over billions of years, we would see its arms stretch and shift like the tendrils of a living thing. Stars would flicker into being, blaze with light. and fade to embers. Clouds would collide, collapse, and shine again. It would be like watching a forest grow, bloom, and die, only to rise once more from its own fallen leaves. And within that cosmic forest, one small star, one small world, bears witness. From our quiet orbit, we observe the grandeur that surrounds us. We send our instruments, our telescopes, our dreams into the dark, gathering photons that have travelled for tens of thousands of years to reach us. In their faint shimmer lies the memory of creation. The immensity of the galaxy is not meant to make us feel lost, but connected. Every atom in our bodies once drifted in its clouds. Every breath we take is the echo of ancient starlight. To gaze upon the Milky Way is to look backward and inward at the same time, to see where we came from and what we are. We are not separate from this grandeur, we are expressions of it, brief notes in its endless song. As the galaxy turns, so do we, carried along in its embrace. We are passengers on a luminous wheel, spinning through the dark. And though we measure our lives in years and decades, the galaxy measures time in revolutions, each one a heartbeat lasting 230 million years. Against that scale, our existence is but a flicker, yet that flicker is enough to see, to wonder, to dream. When night falls again and you look up, remember this. The light above you has crossed unimaginable distances, not to dazzle or to frighten, but simply to be seen. It connects you to everything that ever was, to the birth of stars, to the turning of the arms, to the vast stillness beyond. In that realization, there is peace. You are home, adrift among the stars, a spark within the immensity of the Milky Way. At the very center of the Milky Way lies a mystery, vast, silent, and unseen. It is the beating heart of our galaxy, a place where gravity reigns with absolute power, where light itself bends and falters, where time slows to a whisper. There, hidden behind clouds of dust and interstellar haze, lies something so dense that nothing, not even light, can escape its pull. Astronomers call it Sagittarius A, the supermassive black hole at the core of our galaxy. Its mass is beyond comprehension, 4 million times greater than that of our Sun, compressed into a space no larger than the orbit of Mercury. If you were to look toward the constellation of Sagittarius, you would be gazing into the direction of this colossal engine, though you would see nothing, only the soft veil of stars and gas that surrounds it. For centuries, we did not know it was there. Even now, we cannot see it directly. We know of its presence through the motion of stars that dance around an invisible point, stars that race at unimaginable speeds, completing orbits in mere decades. Their paths curve sharply, whipped by a force too strong to be explained by anything else. It is from these celestial dances that we have come to understand the true nature of the galaxy's heart. The idea of a black hole once seemed impossible, a contradiction of reason, a place where matter vanishes, where space itself collapses. And yet, here it is not a fantasy, but a reality at the center of nearly every galaxy we know. They are the anchors of creation, the dark hearts around which light itself is shaped. They consume and create in equal measure, feeding on the matter that drifts too near, and in doing so, releasing radiant energy that lights the universe. Around Sagittarius A, a storm of matter swirls, gas, dust, shattered remnants of stars. It spirals inward forming a vast disk of fire and plasma that glows with fierce intensity. Friction and magnetic fields tear the particles apart, heating them to millions of degrees. The closer they fall, the faster they move, until finally, at the event horizon, they vanish from the universe as we know it. Yet before they disappear, they shine, a final blaze of brilliance before the long descent into silence. If you could approach the heart of the Milky Way, you would first pass through a sea of stars more densely packed than anywhere else in the galaxy. Here, within a few light years of the core, thousands of suns crowd together, their combined light bathing the region in eternal twilight. The air, if there were air, would shimmer with radiation, with winds of charged particles rushing outward at near light speed. Every atom here is shaped by the immense gravity well that dominates all else. And yet, this region is not chaotic alone. There is order within the turbulence, a cosmic balance that allows creation to coexist with destruction. As gas falls inward and disappears, new stars are born from the very same clouds that feed the black hole. It is a cycle that has continued for billions of years. Stars form, live die, and return their material to the galactic furnace, where gravity molds it anew. The energy released from this process ripples outward across the galaxy. Invisible to human eyes, waves of radiation and magnetic storms spread through the spiral arms, stirring the interstellar medium. It is as if the heart sends out a steady pulse, a heartbeat of gravity, that resonates through every part of the Milky Way. Each tremor carries the memory of collapse and creation, a rhythm that has never stopped since the first stars were born. Our sun, too, orbits this central giant, though from a safe and distant arm, 26,000 light years away. At this vast remove, we are unaware of the turmoil at the core, yet we are bound to it all the same. It is the center of our motion, the pivot around which our entire system turns. Every orbit, every comet, every grain of dust in our solar neighborhood owes its path to the pull of that invisible heart. Scientists have begun to glimpse this dark center more clearly. Through telescopes that see in radio wavelengths, we have traced the outlines of its shadow, the event horizon itself, a perfect circle of darkness surrounded by a ring of glowing matter. It is not a hole in space, but the point where space folds in upon itself. Beyond it, our familiar laws of physics fail, and time ceases to have meaning. It is both an end and a beginning, a bridge between what we can see and what lies forever hidden. To imagine what happens beyond that horizon is to step beyond the reach of knowledge. Some theories suggest that within, the matter collapses into a single point of infinite density, a singularity. Others dream of passages, tunnels through space, time leading to other realms, other universes perhaps. But for now, such notions remain speculation. All we can say for certain is that what falls within does not return. And yet, despite its appetite, the black hole is not a destroyer of galaxies. Paradoxically, it may be their creator. Its gravity helps shape the motion of stars. Its outbursts of energy regulate the birth of new ones. When it feeds, it sends jets of matter streaming outward at nearly the speed of light, vast beams of radiation that extend for thousands of light years. These jets can heat surrounding gas, compressing it in places, igniting new generations of stars. In this way, The supermassive heart does not simply consume, it gives. To understand such balance is to glimpse the elegance of cosmic design. For every act of destruction, there is creation. For every fall, a rise. The galaxy lives in this harmony, cycling endlessly through birth and decay, light and darkness. And at its center, the silent gravity well holds it all together, patient, immense, eternal. If you could drift there near the core, time itself would stretch and slow. A minute near the horizon might be a century beyond it. You would see the stars above you move faster and faster, their light bending, their colors stretching into deep crimson as gravity pulled at their photons. You would feel nothing, no sound, no pressure, only the irresistible draw inward, the quiet pull of forever. But there is a deeper poetry in knowing that we are connected to this. The elements that form your body, the iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, were forged in the hearts of ancient stars, some of which may once have drifted near this very core before they died. Their ashes became the dust from which new stars and planets arose. And from that dust, after billions of years, consciousness emerged. The universe became aware of itself. So when we speak of the galaxy's heart, we are also speaking of our own. Both are born of gravity and fire, both beat with energy. Both carry the memory of creation. In the calm of the night, when you look toward the constellation Sagittarius, you are looking toward the very center of all we are. Invisible, yes, but present, powerful, and endlessly patient. Around Sagittarius A, the stars continue their delicate dance. Astronomers have given them names: S2, S38, S4716, but each is a witness, a storyteller. They orbit at extraordinary speeds, some completing a full revolution in just 16 years, moving faster than any known object of their size. Through their orbits, we have measured the mass of the black hole and confirmed its presence beyond doubt. They are like fireflies tracing the outline of an invisible giant in the dark. One day, perhaps millions of years from now, one of these stars will drift too close. It will be torn apart, its gases spiraling inward, igniting in a final burst of light visible across the galaxy. Such an event, a tidal disruption, is both a tragedy and a spectacle, a reminder that even in the deepest stillness, the universe is alive with motion. The supermassive heart will continue its silent vigil. It has watched countless generations of stars rise and fade, and it will watch countless more, long after Earth has cooled and the sun has dimmed. The heart of the Milky Way will still pulse in the darkness, surrounded by the slow, turning arms of the galaxy. Perhaps one day, distant descendants of humanity, or beings yet unimagined, will stand on other worlds and gaze toward the galactic center as we do now. They, too, will feel that quiet awe, that gentle hum of connection, knowing that somewhere, deep within the heart of the Milky Way, the story continues. High above the quiet turning of the Earth, beyond the pale glow of its skies, the Milky Way stretches like a vast river of light. In that river, the stars drift, dance, and flow. They move not in chaos, but in a pattern, a slow and graceful choreography shaped by the invisible hands of gravity and time. Each star, each tiny sun, plays its part in this endless waltz. From the spiral arms to the glowing core, the galaxy is alive with motion. Every star orbits something, a greater mass, a cluster, or the galactic center itself. Some move swiftly, slicing through space at hundreds of kilometers each second. Others drift in patient circles, their paths steady as centuries pass. And though their journeys may take millions of years, not one ever strays entirely alone. Each is part of the larger rhythm, the great galactic dance. If we could speed up time, watch the galaxy's motions unfold as if on a cosmic clock, we would see its arms turn and shimmer like the surface of a whirlpool. Clusters would twist and scatter. Streams of stars would drift outward like glowing tendrils. We would see collisions and near misses, the weaving of countless paths across the black tapestry of the cosmos. What seems still to our eyes is, in truth, a masterpiece of motion. Some stars move together in families, born from the same cradle of gas and dust. They share the same age, the same direction of travel, a stellar kinship that endures for millions of years. These clusters, shimmering jewels in the night, are bound by gravity until time and distance slowly pull them apart. Each star will then go its own way, carrying within it the shared memory of its birthplace. Elsewhere, in the quiet reaches of the galaxy's arms, solitary stars roam, wanderers drifting between the lanes of light. Their paths are long, their companions few, yet even in solitude, they are part of the whole. They follow the gravitational tide that flows through the disk, tracing invisible waves that ripple from the galaxy's heart. Their journeys may take them far from where they began, yet their motion is never random. They are carried along in harmony with all the rest. Imagine standing far above the galaxy, looking down upon its turning face. You would see a great spiral of silver, blue light, its arms slowly unfurling through the black. If you watched for 1 billion years, you would see the stars themselves drift outward, new ones kindling as old ones fade. It would be like watching a vast ocean breathe. Tides of starlight, ebbing and flowing, alive and eternal. At the center of this dance lies gravity, the quiet conductor of the cosmic symphony. It pulls on everything, binding the stars together, shaping their paths as they circle the galactic core. But gravity's music is subtle. It does not push or strike, it persuades, it bends, it guides. Through it, the galaxy holds its shape, its balance, its rhythm. Among the stars are giants and dwarfs, elders and newborns. There are suns 1,000 times brighter than our own, blazing blue and fierce, living fast and dying young. And there are faint red embers, ancient, quiet, enduring. Together they form the galaxy's heartbeat, a harmony of light and time. When we look upon the Milky Way, we see only the nearest of these dancers. Most are too far away for their light to reach us clearly. And yet, that faint glow across the sky, that milky shimmer, is the combined light of hundreds of billions of them, merging into a single luminous haze. Each point of light tells a story millions or billions of years in the making. In the outer arms of the galaxy, the dance grows gentler. Stars move more slowly here, following broad, graceful orbits. Gas and dust collect in thin lanes, forming delicate patterns that stretch across thousands of light years. These regions are often where new stars are born. The spiral arms are their cradles, the places where gravity and time weave the raw material of creation into radiant life. Within those cradles, immense clouds of hydrogen drift in silence. Shockwaves from nearby supernovae ripple through them, compressing the gas until gravity takes hold. The cloud collapses inward, spinning faster and faster, forming a disk of dust that begins to glow. At its heart, a star ignites, a newborn sun. It shines for the first time, sending its light outward into the dark, a single note added to the vast chorus of the galaxy. Everywhere this happens, the dance changes subtly. New stars tug at their neighbours, reshaping the delicate gravitational web that binds them all. Even our own sun is part of this web. It orbits the galactic centre once every 230 million years. Since its birth, it has completed only about 20 circuits. When it was last in this part of its orbit, the first dinosaurs had just begun to walk the Earth. In the deep past, the galaxy looked different. Its arms were brighter, its stars younger. Clouds of dust were thicker, more chaotic. Over billions of years, the dance has slowed and matured, a graceful aging that gives the Milky Way its current form. Yet even now, new stars are born every second, and the music of their motion continues without end. Sometimes, two stars move too close. They tug at each other, exchanging material, distorting their shapes. Some merge, becoming a single, more massive sun. Others spiral together until they vanish in a burst of energy. A supernova, bright enough to outshine entire galaxies for a brief, brilliant moment. These explosions scatter heavy elements, carbon, iron, gold, into space. From that debris, new worlds are formed. It is a beautiful paradox, destruction and creation bound in one act. Every death becomes a birth, every ending a beginning. The dance of the stars is not a static pattern, but a living story, a cycle that renews itself endlessly. Among the countless stars, there are pairs that move in eternal embrace, binary systems, where two suns orbit each other, locked together by gravity's pull. Some move so close that their light blends into one, while others circle at great distances, each illuminating the other across the dark. To distant observers, they appear as a single flickering point, but up close, their relationship is a delicate duet, poised between attraction and independence. There are also the runaways, stars flung from their homes by the violence of cosmic interactions. When galaxies collide, or black holes tug at passing systems, some stars are hurled into intergalactic space at unimaginable speeds. They travel alone, forever separated from the galaxy that gave them birth. Even so, their light carries the signature of the Milky Way, a message cast outward into the eternal dark. The galaxy's motion is not confined to stars alone. Around every sun are worlds, planets, moons, comets, and belts of rock and ice. Each follows its own miniature dance, echoing the rhythm of the greater whole. In this way, motion repeats itself at every scale, from the smallest particle to the grandest spiral arm. It is the same music, played on different instruments, echoing through time. And within this immense choreography, there is a quiet truth. Everything is connected. The sun's path through the galaxy influences the climate of Earth, the comets that visit us, the cosmic rays that bathe our atmosphere. Our planet's history, its ages of ice, its moments of warmth, even the evolution of life, has been subtly shaped by our motion through the galaxy's arms. We are not separate from the dance. We are part of its steps. When night falls and the stars emerge, they seem still, frozen in the sky. But this stillness is an illusion born of time too vast for us to sense. If we could wait long enough, millions of years, we would see them shift like a slow tide, changing the patterns of constellations. The Big Dipper, Orion, the Pleiades, all will someday look different. The sky itself is a living thing, reshaped by the movement of its stars. This is the quiet majesty of the Milky Way, a universe in motion, each part aware of the others only through gravity's gentle whisper. It is a dance without beginning or end, without conductor or stage, and yet perfectly balanced. It unfolds across billions of years, yet each second carries its essence. The smooth turning of the galaxy, the shimmer of light upon darkness. And we, too, are part of that dance. Every atom of our bodies once belonged to a star that lived and died long before the Earth was formed. We carry within us the dust of 1,000 suns, the memory of collisions and creations. When we breathe, when we dream, when we gaze upward, we take part in the same cosmic rhythm that moves the galaxy itself. So the next time you look into the night sky and see the Milky Way stretching across the heavens, remember, it is not just a band of light. It is motion frozen in a moment. It is the dance of the stars, the eternal waltz of the cosmos, written in light and time. And though our lives are fleeting, for this brief heartbeat of existence, we too are moving, shining, dancing within it. Among the billions of stars that shimmer in the Milky Way, countless worlds turn in silence. They circle their suns faithfully, unseen and unknown, each tracing an orbit that will continue long after our own brief age has passed. Some are small and frozen, others vast and blazing, wrapped in storms of gas. They drift in darkness, warmed by distant light, whispering the same truth, that the universe is far richer and more varied than we once dared to dream. Not long ago, we believed that planets were rare, that our solar system might be unique. But the eyes of our telescopes have shown otherwise. Now we know that nearly every star has companions. There are worlds of every kind, rocky spheres like Earth and Mars, swollen giants like Jupiter, glowing embers like failed suns, and planets that wander the void alone, their stars long lost. To count them all would be impossible. There are more planets in the Milky Way than grains of sand on every beach of Earth. Each one tells a different story. Around young, bright stars, disks of dust swirl and collide, giving birth to new worlds. Pebbles merge into boulders, boulders into mountains, until gravity binds them into planets. Some form close to their suns, their skies molten and wild. Others are cast far away, where light grows thin and cold. From chaos comes order, and from dust, the possibility of life. Imagine a planet bathed in twin sunsets, where two stars share the sky. Imagine another locked in eternal day on one side, eternal night on the other. Picture worlds of crystal seas beneath violet skies, and others cloaked entirely in cloud, their surfaces hidden beneath storms. Some orbit so near their stars that metals boil in the air. Others drift so far that oceans freeze into glass. Every variation that nature allows, every combination of light and temperature and chemistry, exists somewhere within this galactic expanse. Our instruments can only glimpse them indirectly. We watch for tiny wobbles in a star's motion, faint dimming when a planet passes in front. From these shadows, we infer the presence of worlds we cannot see, and with each discovery, the count grows higher. Thousands confirmed, Tens of thousands suspected, millions waiting to be found. The Milky Way, it seems, is teeming with planets, each one a potential home for wonder. Some of these worlds may resemble our own. They orbit in the gentle zone where liquid water can exist, where the warmth of a sun is neither too fierce nor too faint. There, perhaps, oceans ripple under alien moons. Perhaps winds shape continents of strange colour and form. Perhaps somewhere beneath a foreign sky, something stirs. Simple life, fragile and new, unaware of the vast galaxy that surrounds it. Others are utterly unlike anything we know. There are hot Jupiters, immense and close to their suns, their atmospheres burning at thousands of degrees, their clouds streaked with metal vapour. There are super-Earths, rocky and massive, with crushing gravities and thick, misty air. There are rogue planets, cast adrift between the stars, wandering through the cold blackness with no sunrise, no seasons, no sky. And yet, even these dark orphans may carry warmth in their hearts, heated by radioactive decay or the memory of their birth. In some corners of the galaxy, planets orbit in crowded systems, 10, 12, 15 worlds circling a single star. Their skies are filled with neighbours, glowing spheres that rise and set like enormous moons, painting their horizons with light. Elsewhere, in quieter regions, lone planets revolve in solitude, their only companion the dim shimmer of distant suns. Each has its place in the grand pattern, every orbit a thread in the tapestry of motion that fills the Milky Way. We have sent our machines to other worlds, to Mars, to the icy moons of Jupiter and Saturn, to comets that drift between the planets. Each voyage expands our understanding. Each image returned to Earth reminds us that the universe is not empty but full. Frozen plains, methane seas, volcanoes of ice, all these exist within a fraction of one galaxy. If such variety exists so near to us, what might lie farther away? Astronomers now speak of the habitable zone, a fragile region where conditions might be right for life. But perhaps life is not confined to comfort. Perhaps it adapts to fire and frost, to acid and radiation, to depths and heights we cannot endure. If so, then life could be as common as starlight, taking root wherever chemistry allows. The Milky Way would then not merely be a galaxy of stars, but of living worlds. A cosmic garden stretching from arm to arm. And yet, for all our searching, we have not heard another voice. The stars remain silent, their planets unspoken mysteries. It may be that life is rare, or that intelligence is brief. Or perhaps the distances are simply too vast for any message to cross. Still, when we look into the dark between the stars, we feel that ancient questions stirring. Are we alone? Every telescope, every probe, every whisper of radio static is part of our attempt to find an answer. The galaxy has had time enough for countless civilizations to rise and fall. Some may have vanished long ago, their signals fading like echoes in a canyon. Others may thrive still, orbiting distant suns, looking outward as we do, wondering if they are alone. In that shared wondering, perhaps, there is connection, silent, unseen, but real. The search for life is, in truth, a reflection of our own longing to belong to something greater. The planets themselves bear witness to the power of creation. Their colours, their shapes, their orbits, all are the result of the same physical laws that govern every corner of the cosmos. Gravity, light, and time weave them into being, sculpting landscapes that no eye may ever see. But the beauty of it lies not only in sight, but in knowing that out there, right now, worlds are turning, clouds are forming, storms are raging across alien skies. Each of those worlds has its own rhythm. On some days last minutes, on others years. Some spin on tilted axes, giving rise to seasons of fire and frost. Some have no tilt at all, eternal daylight on one side, endless night on the other. And still, each finds balance, following the path set for it by its sun. Our own world is one among these, a fragile blue sphere orbiting a modest star in a quiet corner of the galaxy. To us, it feels unique, but it may be one of billions like it. From a distance, Earth would appear as nothing more than a pale dot, a glimmer of reflected light in the vast dark sea. Yet within that dot, life thrives, thinks, dreams, and wonders about the universe that gave it birth. In this sense, the Milky Way is not just a galaxy. It is a nursery of possibility. It holds within it every stage of existence, from the dust of creation to the spark of consciousness. Each world, each moon, each grain of rock is part of that story. Even the empty spaces between them are not truly empty, but filled with potential, waiting for the touch of gravity, the warmth of light, the passage of time. When you gaze upward and see the Milky Way stretching across the night, you are looking at millions of suns, and likely, some are long dead, their stars extinguished. Some are yet unborn, their matter still gathering in the dark. And some, at this very moment, may host skies full of colour and life, alien oceans beneath unfamiliar stars. It is almost impossible to grasp such abundance, to think that for every star you see, there may be dozens of planets unseen. For every glimmer in the sky, a solar system. For every arm of the galaxy, uncounted billions of possible homes. And amid them all, one small world where eyes have opened to see the rest. That, perhaps, is the greatest wonder of all, that the universe, through us, has found a way to look back upon itself. We are the galaxy becoming aware of its own vastness, its own beauty. Every discovery we make, every new planet found, is another mirror, showing us that we belong to something infinite, something alive. The Milky Way is not still, though it seems frozen above us, a river of silver in the dark. It is alive with motion. Every star, every cloud, every drifting world moves in a grand celestial dance that began billions of years ago and will continue for billions more. Nothing in the galaxy is truly fixed. Everything turns, everything changes, everything moves towards something yet unseen. Our own sun, with its family of planets, orbits the center of the Milky Way, once every 230 million years. Each revolution carries us through regions of starlight and shadow, through clusters and arms of the galaxy that bloom like petals of fire. We are travelers in an endless spiral, moving quietly through the darkness. And though our human lives are fleeting, mere heartbeats compared to the galaxy's slow rhythm, we are part of that eternal motion. Far away near the heart of the Milky Way lies a darkness from which no light escapes. A supermassive black hole, millions of times heavier than our sun, rests at the center, silent, invisible, but powerful beyond comprehension. Around it, stars whirl like fireflies caught in a vortex, their orbits bent by gravity's deep pull. This black hole does not devour all it sees. It governs. Its presence holds the inner galaxy together, shaping the orbits of stars, sculpting the pattern of light that stretches across the sky. Time, in the scale of the galaxy, moves slowly. The arms will twist and shift. New stars will be born, old ones will fade. Massive blue suns will burn fiercely, then die in flashes of brilliance. Supernova scattering the elements of life across the void. From their ashes, new generations of stars will emerge, carrying with them the carbon, oxygen, and iron that will form planets, oceans, and perhaps, again, life. The galaxy renews itself endlessly, recycling matter like breath, creating and dissolving in a rhythm that never ceases. Yet, even the Milky Way has a destiny. In the distant future, some 4 billion years from now, it will meet another great spiral, the Andromeda Galaxy. For ages they have been drifting toward one another, drawn by mutual gravity, their paths locked since the dawn of time. Now, across the silent gulf of space, the two galaxies approach, their stars destined to intertwine. When they finally touch, there will be no cataclysm, no collision of stars. The distances between them are too vast. Instead, they will pass through each other like ghosts, their shapes distorted, their stars flung into long, curving streams. Over time, they will merge, their cores spiraling together, forming a new, larger galaxy. An elegant oval of starlight, shining brighter than before. Astronomers call it Milkomeda, a union of the Milky Way and Andromeda, the next chapter in the cosmic story. Our sun will still exist then, though dimmer, older, nearing the end of its life. Its outer layers will swell, transforming it into a red giant, consuming Mercury and Venus, perhaps even Earth. Long before that, our oceans will have boiled away, our atmosphere gone, our world silent once more. Yet the atoms that make up everything we are, our bones, our breath, our thoughts, will not vanish. They will drift outward into the galaxy to become part of new stars, new worlds, new stories. The galaxy, vast as it is, does not stand apart from time's slow erosion. Over unimaginable ages, its stars will die one by one, leaving behind white dwarfs, neutron stars and black holes. The spiral arms will fade. The Milky Way will grow dim, like embers cooling after a fire. But even in that darkness, there will still be light. Faint, patient, eternal. The universe does not end with silence. It transforms. Somewhere, far in the future, when the last stars burn out, only the memory of their light will remain. The cosmic background, a whisper of the universe's first dawn. By then, the Milky Way, as we know it, will have changed beyond recognition. Yet, in another sense, it will still be here. Its matter will have become the seeds of something new, a different form, another beginning. And perhaps, somewhere in that far tomorrow, life will rise again. Perhaps in another system, around another sun, eyes will open to see the stars, and minds will awaken to wonder who they are and where they came from. Perhaps they too will look into their night sky and see a pale band of light, the remnant of the ancient Milky Way, and ask the same question we ask now. What is out there? The galaxy, then, is not only a place in space, it is a living cycle of time. It births its own successors, passes its essence forward, just as generations of life do on Earth. The atoms that once shone in long, dead stars now live in us. The atoms within us will one day shine again. In this way, the Milky Way is immortal, not as a single structure, but as a story without end. When you gaze upward on a clear night, remember you are not merely looking at stars. You are seeing the past, the present, and the future all at once. You are looking into the history of everything, every element, every planet, every spark of life. Each photon of light that touches your eyes has traveled for thousands, even millions of years, crossing the vast dark sea to find you. And in that single moment of seeing, the universe becomes aware of itself once more. There is a stillness to the end of things, a peace that follows creation. In that silence, there is no loss, only transformation, energy becoming matter, matter becoming memory. The galaxy breathes, as we do. It exhales light, it inhales darkness, and through it all, the story continues. So close your eyes. Let the thought of it drift through you. The spiral arms turning slowly, the stars being born and dying, the world circling endlessly in the dark. This is your home. This is the Milky Way, a galaxy of 100 billion stars, of uncounted worlds, of mysteries too deep for words. And within it, on a small blue planet, one voice speaks into the dark, whispering to the stars, "We are here."